Hey everybody, this is Mark Malkin with Variety's After Show. We are celebrating 6 seasons of Schitt's Creek with a special guest, Emily Hampshire, otherwise known as Stevie. We're just going to wait for her to come on in here. Otherwise, there she is.
I did it.
And now I just have to do one more quick thing. Hi, Emily Hampshire.
Hi.
How are you?
Devastated.
You're laughing. Welcome to Variety's After Show.
Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I was crying. My ears were, my eyes were full of tears.
Same. So we were all together on a Zoom, kind of Zoom thingy, watching it all together. And yeah, it's weird because we ended this so long ago. So I feel like we've all had time to process it, but no, still the same.
So let's talk about that finale, because I noticed the first person we see crying is you, walking down the aisle, and your eyes are pink. Were you crying a lot leading up to that?
Oh, it wasn't just me. There was not a dry eye on set that day. So we shoot Schitt's, the interiors.
Wait, I just have to say that you just said we shoot Schitt's.
Oh.
Sorry.
I've often said my pre-Schitt's life was shit. Like, it's, yeah. So yeah, we shoot the interiors at the beginning of the shoot, and then we have a hiatus, and then we shoot the exteriors. So the last day of shooting in our interior sets in our studio was the wedding, and the last day of shooting exteriors was the goodbye, like the last scene. So we were all, for reals, emotional, but also seeing, like, it just kills me, like Stevie walking down the aisle with Mr. Rose and seeing David and Patrick, and these are people who've kind of become real. Like, I'm not delusional, but my favorite quote is like, just because it's fiction doesn't mean it's not true. And this is like, these are true relationships.
How did you say goodbye when there was that last call of "that's a wrap"?
You know what's really funny though is that but before we even shot that scene, I got on set and everyone was crying, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't affect me when I end a show. It'll affect me like months later when I'm not shooting, but right now, won't bother me. 2 seconds later, I'm like bawling. So yeah, it was it was hard, but like bittersweet, because we all know how, like, we genuinely know how lucky we were and are to be on that show. And just also, like, we all really like each other, like, a lot, which is rare. And Dan didn't end the show because he wanted to. He ended the show because it was right, and that was the story he wanted to tell. And if he kept it going, it would be a different story, and this was the right one. So
did you know when you read the first script that it was going to end after 6 seasons?
No, I mean, I didn't know it was going to go for 2. I mean, I suspected because it was Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy. But you know what I didn't realize was I honestly didn't know Stevie was going to be as amazing as she was. I thought I was signing on to something where I would be the girl at the front desk who brought David towels and said a sarcastic thing here and there. And she just became this thing. I always think of her as like this Russian doll kind of thing, where she was this hard shell, and you peel back, like, you keep opening her up, and oh my God, there's a real girl inside. And like, I feel like it's been such a special journey for Stevie, because I think a lot of the time she stands in for the audience. Like, she's a little more average than the Roses. But yeah, I love her. I love everyone in the show.
Why do you think Stevie resonates so much with people? I think I told you when we were doing the test, when I said to my husband, I said, oh, we're doing an after show with Schitt's Creek. He's like, oh, who are you talking to? And I said, Emily Hampshire. She's Stevie. And he's like, Stevie. Like, it just said with such heart.
I I mean, I can speak for myself and what I've heard from people. And I think it is that, well, what kills me about her is that she's such a good friend. Like, well, more so than I feel like she's taught me how to be a better friend. But like, you know, when David falls in love with Patrick, that means that Stevie's not going to be number one anymore, but she's so happy for him. Like, she just wants David to be happy and be okay. And like, it's such an example of really, truly loving a friend. Cause she's so selfless. She's just also really real. Like, there's no bullshit with Stevie. She just says what she thinks, and oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I could hear the emotion in you. You're just, it's there.
I mean, it's a special story. It really is. I don't think any of us realized at the time, like, we loved the show, but people only kind of, it only became popular in its last season. But for like 6 years, we have been with these characters that, I think there's a reason why it's become popular and affected people, because it has this heart that like doesn't sacrifice its humor for its heart. Like, it's funny, it's really funny, but it's
So okay.
oh, you're frozen. That's the worst. I've been talking for hours.
No, stop. Don't, no.
Okay.
You could talk. This is about you, not about me. But who on the cast would break the most? I mean, there were so many scenes that I would see where you guys were just laughing. My favorite is pubic relations. I literally thought everyone was just going to lose it.
Oh my God, pubic relations, like, you could not walk into that room without seeing pubic relations and dying. I mean, we all laughed at, like, I mean, the fold and the cheese, and the day when Dan and, David, they're similar. David and Moira did the Allez-vous cosmetics when he was doing that. Like, that was hilarious. But the person who breaks the most is definitely 100% Eugene when Chris Elliott is around.
Really?
Like, Chris Elliott has his number. Like, anything he does, Eugene just dies.
And do you have a favorite Moira wig?
I feel like I really liked the one when we all got to try on the wigs. It was a big moment for us. We were all like legitimately excited ourselves as our own selves and as the characters. But I really like all three of us in those wigs. So I would say those are my favorite. Oh, wait, no. Did you see the finale?
What was she?
I mean, our hairstylist Anya worked like maybe all season on wrapping that hair around. She had this vision, and I mean, it really, in terms of Moira's looks, like her whole outfit, that was the way to end it.
And how often did she get to come onto set and you hadn't seen her yet in the outfit? And she comes into a scene and you're just like, I cannot believe what she's wearing now.
All the time. And that's what was kind of, me and Noah talk about this a lot, that we're kind of lucky. We get to just genuinely react to the ridiculousness that they're wearing. But yeah, every time I saw Moira, and also I would just look down and I felt so bad for Annie and Catherine, because the shoes they had to wear every day while I'm in my like Stevie Converse. They worked for it.
Do you have a favorite scene, a favorite episode?
100% Cabaret. For many meta reasons. I've been an actor since I was like 12, and anytime anyone would ask me what my dream role was, it was always Sally Bowles in Cabaret. And I never in a million years thought I would not only get to do it, but get to do it as Stevie, which is 1,000,000% better, because I can't fail because she doesn't have to be a good singer, but also like that song Maybe This Time is in the original version, it's maybe this time I'll get this man, maybe this time he'll love me. And for Stevie, I only realized this in the moment, but for Stevie, it's maybe this time I'll win. Maybe this time I'll be as great as everybody, thinks I can be. And it's just so self-empowering. And then my favorite moment is when David says, "That's my best friend." So, yeah.
So I'm going to have to ask you, sing a little for us.
Oh my God, no.
Come on. A little maybe God. This time.
You know what's so funny is that I'm doing this like talk show now for the Actors Fund, and my whole thing is I want to get everyone to sing, and then it's never happened to me before. But oh yeah, I can.
Oh, you can. We've seen the episode. You can.
Well, but what? It's so. Oh my God. Well, I mean, I feel weird doing it. Would you do it? Would you do something? Like a little something?
What do you want to do? Let's go.
I don't know.
Maybe this time.
Wait, how does it even go? Yeah, maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. Oh my God, I want to die. Okay,
that's amazing. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. The show has also been a personal journey for you. You discovered you were pansexual while making this show.
It sounds very funny when you say it like that. Like, I mean, you just said it like normal, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the real truth is that we did this scene, season 1, where David described his sexuality through this wine metaphor. And during that scene, I remember saying to Dan, I'm like, what's pansexual? I don't get it. Like, I don't get the metaphor. And cut to like 5 years later, I definitely am pan. And I just didn't know that even existed, but I'd always been just attracted to a vibe, like I try to explain this to people who are like, well, you don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care. It's just like, I'm attracted to somebody because they have this presence or they have this something, and like, what they have between their legs doesn't really come into play unless like, they're just like, as long as they're good at it, Right. So, this is a terrible thing to say. I've been traumatized today. So I'm in quarantine, and then the finale of the show, so I need to be forgiven for everything.
No, you are doing great. Don't even try it. Have you heard from a lot of, people, either young, old, it doesn't matter, LGBTQ people who are saying thank you?
Yeah, and honestly, that is what has really changed me. I think because, being an actor kind of all my life, I've just been very success driven. Like I want to just work and do great stuff. But I never really took into play the effect it had on people. I'm from Canada. I'm very it's very hard to toot your own horn. So I'm always like, I have this actor shame, and like, we're not doctors, but, I realized when I started getting these DMs from people saying that, they watched Schitt's Creek with their family and it helped them be able to come out because they saw David and Patrick just be like an example of that. Or, I mean, people who said to me that like relationship I had, that it made them feel like they could be loved too. And that just killed me. So it just did make me think that the thing that actually feels the best to me now, which I used to think it was like, I don't know, some success in acting, but it does feel the best to me now to have some kind of positive effect on especially that community. Because I just feel like Schitt's really opened up this kind of safe space for it that I didn't even realize was lacking. And like, Dan from the beginning said, his mandate was there will be no homophobia on Schitt's Creek, and the town will never be the butt of a joke. Like like the townspeople will never be like the dumb people of Schitt's Creek. And I think that was so important because it just, as opposed to what I would have thought is like, you know, you teach a lesson with something to teach people how to be more accepting. But no, like he leads by example, and you just show a world where there's no homophobia and it works great. No one misses it. It's like amazing. So, yeah.
What was it like having the fame of the show and then having your private life? You know, you were walking the red carpet, you're looking happy, and people are talking about your private life. What did that feel like?
Oh, well, those are two different things. So being like the show getting this recognition was, I kind of like, I love how it happened because it didn't happen at the beginning when I think we initially wanted it to happen because you think that's, oh, people like your show. But it happened like at the end when we already were just doing something we loved, and then all of a sudden people were like, oh, they like us too. And so it also felt so great to be able to go to these award shows and people like when fans and stuff come up to us, it's always so lovely because the show it puts out this heart that you get it right back. And then to have people like Nicole Kidman be like, I'm a fan, can you take a picture with me? Or
wait a minute, back up. Where did this happen with
John?
Nicole Kidman? Wait, where did this happen with Nicole Kidman first?
Oh my God, the SAG Awards. She stopped us and asked us, kind of like it was a burden for us, to take a picture with her. I will post it in my highlights of the Schitt's Creek thing. Also, Elton John invited us to his concert and invited us into his dressing room, showed us all his glasses. I mean, he didn't show us, they were there. I insane amount of sunglasses, just FYI. Yeah, so that's crazy. I mean, personal life stuff, that was a weird experience. That was definitely a very big learning experience. And yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot on Schitt's, in it and outside of it and all that.
You know what I find amazing with Schitt's, because it's only 6 seasons. So it's very bittersweet that it's ending, and you guys are still in it. You have the love for it. So, and I think I said this to you at the SAG Awards because it's actually in your finale special. You see me asking you, really? 6 seasons?
I love that. Yeah. Well, you know, okay, so first of all, whenever people are like, oh my God, I'm so sad it's ending, I'm like, hey, harder on me. I don't have a job anymore. I'm losing my friends. But the truth is, like, none of us wanted it to end. And at first, I think when Dan and Eugene announced that, I was in denial. I was like, yeah, okay. And then they were sticking to it when it did just become so popular. And like, that was a hard thing to kind of hold your ground on when everybody's like, we'll give you everything to keep going. And I'm like, Dan, just one more season. We'll get paid in not Canadian dollars. But the truth is, now that I know how now that we've seen how it ends, it was the right thing to do. It's like, I believe that he told the right story. And I think if it would have gone on, he would have told that would have been a different story. And this was the right thing to do. I admire Dan for doing it because it wasn't easy for him to do. Like, he really did this because he respects the audience. He respects the characters. And he ended it right. Like, yeah, I mean, we'd all like to, it was the best job in the world, especially for Stevie. I sit behind a desk. I play Sudoku. I make fun of people's outfits, and I got paid. So, you know, it was pretty great.
So let's say 5 years from now, Dan comes to you and says, hey, we're going to do a reunion show. We're going to do a reboot. What's Stevie doing in 5 years from now?
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, my God. Okay, well, first of all, I love the way it did end for Stevie because that was surprising to me when I read it. Because you'd think, again, I guess I think so cliche, and you'd think that, you know, she'd go off to New York and be a success. And I love that you don't have to go to New York to be a success. Like, you can if that's what success is for you. But for Stevie, I think her whole journey was kind of like, you know, it like like the Wizard of Oz, like it was always in your own backyard. Like you always had it in you. And it's just like, you don't need anything more. And so I love that. And so I feel like, you know, in 5 years, I think she will be this like boss lady of all the like what they started, the Schitt's Motel group. And I have the little, oh my God, in Toronto, I have so much stuff. I have the book, Johnny's book, that Eugene signed to me. I have my Tamagotchi, my dead Tamagotchi on my keychain, and the motel group when we had all the, I guess you didn't see it because our like props department and art deck people, like they do all this detailed stuff. Like in my phone, my fake phone, I had people's contacts like Patrick and like texts from Patrick. So so the stuff for the plans for the motel, the Rosebud kind of whole thing, it's in this thing that I have. That wasn't articulate, but I have that at home.
I get what you're saying. So if Stevie was in front of you right now, what would you say to her?
Oh, I miss you. I miss you. And you're so cool. Like, it's kind of what Moira says to her. Like, you're so cool because you're just yourself. You're just, you don't put on anything. And yeah, she weirdly, this shell of, like this hard shell of a character does wear her heart on her sleeve at the same time. I don't know how that works, but she does. So, yeah.
That's sweet. You are going to miss her. We're all going to miss all of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like I have gotten so much from Stevie. I feel that a lot when I play parts that, like, as opposed to me bringing a lot of myself to it, I feel like I get stuff from the characters. And most people think that I would be like Stevie and are regularly disappointed to find out that I'm not, but so am I. But like she has given me like a bit of a kind of chillness when I need it.
So tell me about this watch party you had on Zoom with everyone. So who was crying the most on the watch party?
Well, I don't know, because we were so we're all on Zoom watching on our own things. And we had to mute the Zoom to get, it was like we were in Schitt's Creek with the technology there. Like, good technology here, don't know how to use it. So we were all watching it, but like we'd reconvene at commercials, we'd turn off our mute, and like everyone was crying. Everyone. Yeah, no. The only person who I didn't know was crying was like our publicist Gab was in the dark. So we were like, Gab, why are you? So that was it. But no, it was so nice. What's really nice is we have these tours that we do. So it's let us kind of like wean ourselves off each other to get to do this. Obviously, it's been postponed, but we really can't wait to do that again. And that's something that is weird during these times. Like, we do these shows with all these people, and I just wonder how it's going to be now because it's such a like love fest. So
are you going to keep doing the tours?
Oh my God. Well, yes, we are doing another tour, and I think we'll do that as long as we can. Obviously, we can't keep doing the same tour, but like we're doing the tour for the last season of the show, so we're going to do that. I think we're going to tour a lot more places now, mainly because we just love it. So if no one shows, we seem to sell out these like 5,000 seat theaters twice a day, and like
you're rock stars.
It is a weird experience, especially because this is going to sound weird, but it's like this like cult of goodness of like people are so kind to each other. Like our fans, when they're waiting outside for us and stuff, I've been in other things where people are kind of like grabby and stuff, and they're not. Like, they're so lovely. They also make us these amazing things. Like, there's this one woman, Jessica, who like makes these albums for us, and like
I love that you know her name.
Well, yeah, she's at all her shows. She's like, we know a lot of her fans because they make themselves present in like a nice way. So
right. So what do you want to say to the fans as a finale? We've watched the finale. We've seen Moira. Okay, Rich, we do have to say, what was that outfit? It was like Lord of the It was Pope, but it was like Lord of the Rings meets Frozen meets
that's
like
good.
some Scandinavian thing.
Oh my God, somebody needs to do some article like assessing, like a fashion person assessing Moira's wardrobe like that, because what was that? It was like, it definitely, when I saw it and when we all saw it the first time, I'm like, this is genius. Of course Moira would be inspired by Pope attire to be the like officiant of a wedding. So yeah, it was amazing.
So as your final goodbye, what do you want to say to the fans tonight?
Best wishes, warmest regards.
We like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for spending your finale night with Variety's after show. I could keep going on and on. I wish you were doing more seasons. I wish we were just talking about a season finale, not a series finale. But now that we know you have that singing voice, we maybe see the Schitt's Creek musical on Broadway.
Oh my God. That, you know what? I was thinking that Moira, what I loved about that cabaret is that it was all Moira's design and everything. So Moira should put her cabaret on Broadway.
Yes.
Or at least be at the Tonys. Like,
or at least for now in quarantine, you know what? Do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do it on Variety. Variety, just let us know. We will help you stage Moira's cabaret.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily. Nice, this was great.
Getting it over with. And yeah, thanks.
Well, stay safe, be well,
and say hi
we'll
to
see
your
you next
boyfriend
time.
for me. Bye.
Bye.